Hey guys, welcome to the 2018 Birds of Play Game of the Year Awards. There's been a lot of disappointments this year, but we found a few gems. Hope you guys enjoy them. Let's get to it, gentlemen.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the final episode of Birds of Play 2018.
Woo!
We've been ruining the show ever since the other guys left, but we're still rolling with it. And as he said, there's a lot of disappointments and a lot of great things that happened this year. We're going to talk about all of them. But to introduce everybody, I'm Nathan Dean.
I'm Blazer Ryan.
I'm Hank.
He's
Ingraham.
He's Ryan.
I'm Taronis.
Nathan. We're rolling with the show, and first off, it's been an awesome year of games, in my opinion.
You just said there's some disappointments.
More improvements than disappointments, in my opinion. So I'm excited to talk about all of those. We'll jump right into it because we got a lot to discuss here in this episode. First nominee we had, we basically sent out a survey, and we had students from UNF and some students from different colleges around the area answer the survey of what they thought were the best and worst games of the year. First nominee we have is Best Story.
Whoa!
Best Story for the nominees. We have Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Detroit Become Human. Hank, we'll start with you. Out of those four, which one do you think won Best Story of 2018?
Now, is it which one do you think won, or which one did you pick?
Yeah, give me what you think won and what you voted
Okay. I'm going to lean very hard on one pick I think that everybody's probably going to go with because it's the most recent one of mine is what I think probably won was Red Dead 2. As for which one I personally thought was my favorite, I'd probably have to go God of War because I just really enjoyed the arc and the relationship between Kratos and his son. It was probably one of my favorite pairings for video game protagonists I've ever seen. They were just enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to go along the same vein. I think I was gonna say God of War won it, but I feel like there's more people with both consoles, and you can't play God of War on anything but a PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Red Dead won it. What did I think should have won it? It's been really hard for me deciding
Yeah, this was a
story
tough one.
and best game because Red Dead and God of War for me are just both fantastic games I played this year. Personally, though, I really love the character development of everyone and all the different people in Red Dead a lot. And I like how they were able to take that many characters and make them interesting. So I give it to Red Dead.
I never thought they'd be able to make Dutch seem like more of an antagonist than the first game.
They're all so cool.
I completely agree with you. I personally was thinking that God of War would be the best one, only because for me was God of War. I think God of War would have been my choice because I did not care about God of War before this game. I'll be honest. I wasn't a huge God of War fan.
I didn't play any of them.
And I saw the reviews online and on Twitter, and I was like, okay, let me just give this game a shot. So I went to Redbox. It was available. I rented it. After being charged $12 from Redbox, I realized I needed to get my own copy. So I went out and bought one, and it was by far one of my favorite games this year. But it had 38% of the vote for Best Story. Detroit Become Human had 6%. Nobody gave love to Assassin's Creed Odyssey because the Best Story winner is Red Dead Redemption 2 with 56% of the vote.
No real surprise.
It's
fresh in the mind.
It's fresh in the mind. I agree. Yeah. I personally did vote for God of War. Just I thought about both games and what story hit me the most. Without spoiling anything, God of War story was by far way better in my opinion than Red Dead.
Yeah, well, you're wrong, buddy. I'm just kidding.
Apparently I'm wrong.
They're both to me, it's just whoever picked one or whatever, I'd be.
I guess for just which one I think was more cinematic, God of War by far. It's just there's something it's not as big in scope as the previous God of War games because I've seen bits of it here and there, the boss fights of they have the gigantic boss fights.
You fight with Zeus,
Yeah.
the god of gods.
Yeah. But
God of War.
Oh my God! Can we talk about the opening fight in God of War? The first boss fight with Baldur. That might be the best opening boss fight I think I've ever
Just
seen.
out of nowhere.
It's just so great.
The roller coaster of emotions the story brings in
The
God of
boy.
War, I thought would have
War.
been so memorable for this to win Best Story, but for the people that we asked, maybe it was fresh in the mind. Maybe people were more into Cowboys. I don't know, but congratulations from UNF Game Awards. If Rockstar cares about that,
Of course
Red
they
Dead
do.
2
They watch
is the
this.
best
Plus,
story.
I gotta say that what's the son's name in God of War? It's like
Atreus?
Atreus is way better than Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love Jack.
as the boy character.
I love Jack as I just love that mission where you go fishing with him. He's just so in it. He's like,
Yeah.
it's like, Jack, let's go fishing. Okay, I'm like, oh,
I don't like this.
I'm like,
wait till you
you
get
don't
to
have
the
to do it then.
epilogue.
You wanna get a cherry pick?
Wait till you get to the epilogue and you realize, man, Jack, you were always annoying.
You're just
What else is annoying are games that don't turn out as well as they should be. Because the second
the disappointment.
the games that don't want to win this award is the most disappointing game of 2018. A game that was hyped up, it was interested by a lot of people, and it just didn't live up to the hype, or just wasn't good at all. The nominees, unfortunately for all of them, are Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves, The Impatient, and State of Decay 2. Now, for people that don't know, just because it was a smaller game, I personally was looking forward to The Impatient. Just
Never
didn't have
heard of
VR. It was
I
the
got really impatient.
same focus. The same focus of the story that was behind Until Dawn from the PlayStation. So it was like a horror movie, and you make the decisions of who lives and who dies. And they had a VR version. It just didn't turn out very well. So Ryan, most disappointing game. I will say, this was one of the results I had to keep a lot of my eye on. I had to keep track of it because it was constantly fluctuating back and forth between two of them, which I'm assuming you think you should know. But which one do you think ended up winning most disappointing game of 2018?
What I think, probably Fallout, just because I think a lot of people are talking about it. It's just been in the news constantly. And if anyone voted after all this whole shebang about the canvas bag and the nylon bag came out, then that probably, I mean, that shouldn't affect how a game turns out, but I'm sure it did. My personal one, though, is Sea of Thieves, because I spent $60 on I spent $60 on Sea of Thieves. I played it for like the day it came out, and I said, man, I wish this was on Steam because I can get a refund, but Xbox doesn't do that. I'm sad.
What you got, Hank?
I'm in a similar boat. I'm thinking it's probably Fallout 76 because, like earlier, it's the most recent one in people's minds. I've enjoyed it to an extent. It definitely has its problems, but I didn't play it on release. I played it. I bought it for Black Friday, and they definitely they fixed some of the they fixed some of the server issues. Like I haven't been kicked out of the server.
I did
yet.
twice, but it's okay. It's forgivable.
It's fine.
I spent $40 on it, so it's not too bad.
Yeah,
I feel
I
better.
spent, I
not
spent,
spending
Black
$60.
Friday,
I spent
right?
$40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Green Man Gaming.
So I would say I'm disappointed, but I didn't go into it expecting a multiplayer Fallout game. I went into it expecting a multiplayer game in the Fallout universe.
Right.
That's a good way
It's
to
not.
look at it, yeah.
It's not. It wasn't. I knew it wasn't going to be what people thought it would be, and so that's why I'm not too disappointed. But I personally picked Sea of Thieves because I don't have an Xbox One anymore, but I've heard a lot of the complaints about that game,
Yeah.
and it didn't. Looking at it, it does not seem like it should have been a $60 game to start with.
Should have been free.
It looks like a free to play game.
For me personally, I kind of agree with you guys. My personal choice was Sea of Thieves, and the reason for that is I love pirate games. I like the idea, and I thought this would have been a really cool concept. And the day that I started playing, I think it was the beta when it came out, it was just awful. It was just not working. It wasn't ready, which I understand was a beta, but if you're gonna release a beta, it's some of it's ready, and it's just not everything. This just wasn't ready at all, and it wasn't working for a lot of people. And so when I saw Ryan spend $60 on the game, I was like, this probably isn't a good idea. And then he told me how awful the game was, because I didn't want to spend $60 on it. And then just constantly negative feedback from it. And I see that they're adding things to the game now, they're trying to, but the initial release, it just didn't feel like it was fully ready for the launch because I think this game had so much potential, and it just wasn't ready to be
There's just
released.
nothing to do. It's like, oh, you get a treasure chest. What do you do with it? You can buy like a different skin for your gun. Cool.
We should have put Battlefield 5 on this list.
I was thinking that
Because I've
but
heard they already dropped it to $30, didn't they? It came out last week.
I thought about that too.
I'm not sure if it. I think it did.
I saw it like on. I think it's $30 on Amazon right now.
I thought about it only because I've heard so much about Call of Duty this year,
Right.
but I don't hear much about Battlefield. Like I almost forgot
I heard-
Battlefield came out.
I heard Call of Duty was like actually good,
Yeah.
and I haven't played a Call of Duty since
We'll
like.
see.
Ghost.
Underrated game of the year.
Oh yeah, right.
But
right.
for most disappointing game of the year, it was back and forth. It was a long fight. The winner of most disappointing game with 50% of the vote, Sea of Thieves.
Woo!
Yes.
My money's down the tube, but it wins.
We
The
guessed
award.
one.
Fallout 76 had 44%.
Ooh,
Nobody knows about The Impatient,
I think that's
They
so
I didn't even know what it was.
maybe
until you
that's the
mentioned
most
it.
disappointing game because nobody even knows what it is apparently, except for myself.
What was wrong with State of Decay 2?
I like point and click.
State of Decay, it just didn't live up to the hype as the first one. It was
Yeah.
one of those like.
Oh,
Did it
wait,
actually have
I'm
online?
mixing my games up. I'm thinking of Dying Light 2.
Oh, I'm ready for that game.
I didn't vote for Fallout 76 when I was thinking about it, only because one, I didn't really play it, so I can't have a full opinion on it. I just played a little bit of it and saw some gameplay. And also, it was kind of what I expected. I told you that I think this game was going to be ESO for Fallout. When ESO came out, it was not as good as people were hoping, and it took time.
I liked it.
For it to, but it wasn't like loved by the whole community as
Yeah,
much as
no,
these
for
the
sure.
single player games are. So this game took so much time for it to build up on, and eventually people started playing it a little more. But I think the initial launch of an online game for Bethesda is not going to be great.
Yeah, I think give it a year. I'm just optimistic about Bethesda. I think in a year it'll be something that people are going to just enjoy a
ESO
lot.
is like I went back to it like about a year ago because I play on PS4 and they do big updates for that game like every year, like and that still gets a bunch of support. But that's like it's Bethesda, but it's like it's done by a different company. But I think is main Bethesda doing the?
I think it's
Or is it one of their like subdivisions?
I think it's a office in Austin, Texas that's like focusing on it, or at least like after the release. I think they're the ones that are like updates. And
I'm just
everything.
hoping they put some. I feel like they've like heard the complaints and they'll put some time into it. Obviously, it sucks that it released like it did, but it's still
So games that are putting some time into their. See, I'm just going off of what you say, Hank. It's great.
Dude, what a
Games
segue.
that are games that are other people are putting time into and could be considered the most anticipated game of 2018. Games that they're not out yet, but we've seen a lot of it and we're looking forward to it. When we were doing our E3 stream, we were talking about a lot of these games. So our nominees for most anticipated game of the year is The Last of Us 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Anthem. Those are the 4 nominees for most anticipated
They
game.
made a game about the song.
The most anticipated game. Hank, which one are you most excited for of this list?
This is a hard one. I'd say I'm excited for all of them, besides Kingdom Hearts 3, because I haven't played any of the previous games.
All you got to see is Toy Story's in it this time.
I know, but like I'm not the biggest Final
Olaf.
Fantasy friend. I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan, and as much as I like Disney, I don't know if I'm probably gonna pick it up.
I just need a role-playing game where Olaf's gonna start swinging around.
I want
and
Olaf to
talking
kill-
about how life is great.
I
with
want Olaf to
Yellow.
kill one of those
Because
heartless.
Frozen is the best Disney movie.
Well, it's gonna be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
They got to put the Hunchback in. That's
I
all I'm
want
saying.
like when is Star Wars getting?
I want
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Quasimodo
I
going
want
in
the
there.
Star Wars.
I was
world.
waiting for when they were showing like the Toy Story, waiting for like Darth Vader or Yoda to walk out.
If they want to really sell that game, put Star Wars in it.
They're gonna put
That
Star
would've
Wars
been
and
wild.
Marvel in it.
I
That would've
could
been wild.
care less for Marvel, but I would love some Star Wars.
Ryan, most anticipated game?
By far, not even close. Oh wait, did you even say which one you're?
Oh, if I had to pick one which I'm most anticipated for, it'd probably be Anthem will be interesting.
I think it's gonna suck. Go
Last
ahead.
I don't know. BioWare is.
I'm not believing the hype.
You're not believing the hype.
I'm not believing it.
I just wish there was more classes.
But I've been wrong
Four
before.
classes is not enough. Destiny has that same problem. Last of Us will be interesting. And what was the second one?
We have Last of Us 2, Cyberpunk 2077,
Oh,
Kingdom
it's
Hearts 3, and
Cyberpunk.
Anthem.
They've shown like no gameplay for Cyberpunk, but that world
Yeah,
alone.
They got that 40-minute.
Oh yeah,
like
they
40
did.
minute one,
But that's a, like
We'll see how much is
custom
like
character.
scripted and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know with that. But that's. I would be surprised if that actually comes out next year.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just put it. I mean, we had it on the nominee just because it was talked about so much.
Yeah, that's. I could. When did they
they haven't
say
even-
like what quarter it's coming in?
Not at all.
They just said 2019. It's
So,
coming.
I
It's coming
don't-
soon.
I don't think they even said 2019. They're just like
Yeah,
it's,
I just
it's
saw the
coming out.
gameplay, so I was like, maybe winter 2019. There's a possibility.
Yeah.
Dude, we're getting
But-
it next week. That's a scoop.
It's the. I mean, it's the makers of the Witcher series.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how
gonna be
bad could it be?
But yeah, me by far, bar none, nothing close. Cyberpunk. This is a Funhouse shirt, but it is in the style of Cyberpunk. It says Funhouse 2034 instead of. Anyway, Cyberpunk looks amazing. I wasn't a big Witcher person, but just this universe looks amazing. I'm just a sucker for customization, so that stuff
Yeah.
always is just like, whew.
yeah.
So yeah, that game looks amazing.
I put Last of Us 2. Let me tell you why. Because I loved Last of Us 1. I know some people don't love it,
Joel.
but there's a lot of people that love it even more than I do. I think
Forget Joel.
Naughty Dog did a fantastic job with their approach to Last of Us. The first game, when they were slowly leaking stuff out, and then eventually got released, and it was a fantastic game, in my opinion. Last of Us 2, the only thing that bothered me was when we were watching the PlayStation conference last summer, they did so much to present Last of Us 2 and like show gameplay, and like they did the setting, what was it, like a church or something like that.
It's a weird. That was a weird conference.
They did all that hype, and there was just no idea of a release date, like not even a hint, like a hey, maybe next year, nothing. But I considered Cyberpunk 2077. Still got to learn a little bit more about that. I made a joke in a previous show that the game might come out in 2077. Maybe they did tell us the
Next
release
week.
date. But with 44% of the votes, Cyberpunk did win most anticipated game of the year. 31% Last of Us 2, 12% for Kingdom Hearts 3 and Anthem. So, I mean, obviously, there's so many people excited for this Cyberpunk game, including myself. I'm not sure what to expect from it, but I think it's a good idea that I don't have a whole lot of expectations for it. Because I was not into the Witcher series, but I'm excited for the Cyberpunk game. So, but I voted for Last of Us 2. Any thoughts at all?
No, I mean, I think they're all going to be good games.
Yeah.
Anthem, maybe not. It just kind of depends on.
Was the Impatient 2 on there?
Moving on to Character of the Year.
Whoa.
Character of the Year.
Spicy one.
This one
It's going to be a hard one.
This one was interesting one because there were a lot of characters that I was considering all four of these. Character of the Year, our nominees are Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2,
That's okay, girl.
Kratos from God of War,
Boy.
Clementine to the devastating end to Telltale,
Girl.
girl with Walking Dead, and then I put Alexios / Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Thought those were interesting characters for
really
that
need to play that.
series.
So
So
good.
it's a very good game.
Playing on a PC, the only issue I had is it kept like lagging, which really annoyed me. But I'm sure if you got a PS4,
Yeah, I
I'm
got it
sure,
on PS4.
I'm sure it's fine.
Ryan, Character of the Year.
So, as it's been with most of these between God of War and Red Dead, I just God, it's hard because Kratos was amazing in this game, and he was like, but the thing that I'm not that connected to him because like you guys haven't played, I didn't play any of the other ones at all, and I feel like if I had more of that background information of him, I would have grew even more
Well,
in love with his character.
I mean, if
he is
you
a lot different. From
Yeah, if you look at the first couple games, I've watched like
yeah, I watched like
tons of the cutscenes and stuff,
Right.
and it's just like Kratos in the first couple games is not like a story in depth protagonist. He's just a hunk of meat that wants to kill everything in his path. Where this game turned around and made him a very
He's
likable
like, I don't
character.
want to fight. I'm tired.
He's kind of old and tired, and he's like,
It's all old and dried out.
yeah. But if I had to, oh god, I really liked Arthur.
Yeah, I'm picking Arthur.
I've been debating with like friends about, is Arthur a better protagonist than even John Marston?
I'm right there with you. I don't know.
That can be debated for sure.
He is. As much as I love John, like Arthur is just. So if you play, I played Arthur good. I don't know how you guys played
yeah, I
him.
did too.
I
If
can't
you
play
play
bad.
him
I feel
good,
bad.
he grows on you so much
He's
towards
such a-
the end.
Oh yeah.
And
That was an interesting thing. I recently, randomly, it showed up on recommended on YouTube. It said it was the Red Dead 2 Redemption 2 launch trailer, or like launch teaser from like 2 years ago.
oh god.
And I'm like, oh, let me just see what it's like from like 2 years ago, looking at back and just actually seeing, you can hear Arthur's voice. I'm like, oh, I know that scene. But then like reading the comments, someone's like, oh, Arthur's gonna be Trevor Phillips' clone from GTA. I'm like, I don't know how you get that from just the teaser, but I'm like, you're way off. Anyway, yeah, Arthur is a fantastic character.
I cannot believe it's already been 2 years. That
Yeah,
game,
I
that
didn't
game
think
felt
so.
like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot until like a couple months ago that Red Dead was coming out this year.
I mean, it just threw me off when I looked up the release date for Red Dead 1. Like I thought
It's been what, 8-9 years
it was.
now.
Yeah, I wasn't even in high school yet, so I was like, this game's been out that long. But it was worth it.
Still a
It
classic.
was worth the wait. Red Dead 2 was awesome. I personally voted for Arthur Morgan as well. I think Arthur, I just loved the story behind his role in the game and how he interacts with all of the NPCs in the game, which I thought we discussed before that
Hey, mister.
the NPCs in this game sometimes didn't even feel like, sometimes I wasn't sure if that was an actual person because it felt realistic sometimes. So I love the game, love Arthur Morgan. But more people love Kratos because Kratos was the character of the year. With
It was very close.
slight edge, 50% of the vote.
Cool. Understandable.
44% of the vote was Arthur Morgan, and 6% Clementine. Okay,
Good for you,
there's
Clementine.
there's a community out there.
It's probably Trey.
I think we've realized most of our fans haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey because they are getting no
They're
votes.
missing out, and let me. I will say, like Assassin's Creed is a fantastic
good.
game.
I'm very excited to play it. I picked it up for Black Friday because
Yeah.
it was $27 from
Fantastic
GameStop.
Very worth it.
And I played Origins a bit, and I really enjoyed Origins, and I heard that Odyssey is like better.
It's very
than
similar,
that.
and it's just enhanced to that.
Because I was nervous going
They
in.
brought back boats. I heard. I'm
Yeah,
excited
it's,
for the
it's
boats.
good.
They did.
I was nervous going in because I'm like, it came out a year after Origins. It looks exactly like it, just reskinned. But no, I think it's better than Origins. and it's
I'm
really-
hoping they don't go back to the yearly release. I don't think they will.
Yeah, I
I think
hope
they'll
they
do
don't.
like every 2 years.
I think
Two-
they've learned
two.
from their mistake.
Yeah.
At this point, but just to speak on their behalf for this game, to Ryan can attend to this. I was not looking forward to this Assassin's Creed game, but I just, again, all these positive reviews. I wanted to see what it was about.
Yeah.
Gave it a little rent. Boom, 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 and then it just the same thing that happened with God of War.
Is Ubisoft like turning turning around?
Watch
Like
out.
they made For Honor good again. I don't know if you guys played For
I
Honor.
tried it.
We
It
played
kept
so
disconnecting,
much.
and I was like,
They
okay.
just released like a huge update for it.
We played so much For Honor when it came out.
I got burnt out.
Rainbow.
But I
I
got
picked
burned
up
out, too.
Rainbow Six Siege again because it was like
That's a great game,
$17 for Black Friday, and that is an awesome game, and they still
Yeah.
releasing good content for that. Like
Good job, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, I think they still have some stinkers here and there, but Assassin's Creed's back on the top of its game, and they're putting some effort into their other online games. If only they could fix Uplay.
Yeah, don't forget South Park, awesome series by them as well.
I didn't play
That
the
is
second
on them. I
So
forgot about that.
they're a great team over there. They've done a lot of different kind of games and successful in a lot of situations. Just Dance. I mean, we could just keep going.
I was a
Oh,
legend.
yeah,
Have you
Just
played
Dance.
Jump the Line and
So,
Just Dance 2?
Great
'Cause I'll
company,
beat you.
and although we were just discussing Character of the Year, but I did want to vent about this Assassin's Creed game was a good game.
Yeah.
I still haven't beaten it because there's so much to do, and there's just been all of these other games I'm trying to play. So, but I definitely will be getting back to that, and I recommend Assassin's Creed Odyssey to anybody that's enjoyed the Assassin's Creed series. And as we're talking about the developers, we got Developer of the Year.
Developers.
What developer impressed us the most this year? We have, of course, the team that shows up every year, Nintendo.
Like a
We've-
whole company is.
We've got they just do everything.
Yeah.
We've got Rockstar, obviously with Red Dead, Santa Monica Studio with God of War, and Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed. So Ryan, take a swing. Take a guess.
So who I think won and who I want to win are both Rockstar.
Okay.
Because I just think they knocked it out of the park with this game, and
They whip their employees.
they literally knocked. They like,
Over and over made
it's
them.
the West. Work 200 hours. That's another thing, though. They might not all be good developers, morally or ethically, but they put out a good product. So thank you, Rockstar, and
Best
fix your
product
work
was-
conditions.
Hank, what you got?
Oh man, best developer. I feel like Nintendo's cheating because it's a whole company, and I mean, it's Nintendo.
They're like, we're back in it.
They're gonna do what they do. I'd probably give it to Santa Monica because it's not like Sony's like big team. Is that Sony's like big developer?
I don't know.
I don't think it's
feel
their
like
main
I
one.
feel like Naughty Dog is their biggest.
Naughty Dog probably is
their
their big
biggest
one.
developer.
And
That-
I'm assuming that team has to be like half the size of all these other ones, and the amount of effort that went into that is like Red Dead is great and it's big and expansive, but God of War is beautiful. It's probably the most gorgeous game I think that exists right
It
now.
hurt my eyes. It looks so good.
Oh my gosh, when you go to like the fairy world and you just like look at this, like you're like, Jesus Christ.
When you're up on the mountain, you're like,
But yeah, I'd give it to Santa Monica.
Sonic.
And I think I was just making sure I had the name right. I think it's David Jeff. Is that how you say his name? He was the creator of this series. So for his series to be turned into something that it changed so much, but it still was a beautiful piece, that was something that I really thought would have helped them take the developer of the year, just because we saw the video of the guy that was the director of the game. I can't remember his name. But he like went on his computer and saw the reviews for God of War, and it was just perfect scores on his screen, and he like just started crying because he like worked so hard on it. So kudos to them. Unfortunately, in the UNF community, people don't agree with that.
That's because they probably don't know. They're probably like,
They don't
what
know.
studio is this?
Yeah, Rockstar,
Yeehaw!
developer of the year.
Oh, Cowboys.
Second was a close second was Nintendo.
Hopefully that means that they
They're
can
in there.
fix Red Dead Online. Still in beta.
Nintendo constantly just doing things with the Switch. Obviously announcing Smash. That's coming out in a few
Kirby,
weeks.
dude?
So I mean, it's a great game.
I
so
didn't play
you
that
can make
Kirby
the
game.
joke.
I've heard a
No,
lot.
I meant like
It's a
Kirby being
fantastic
the only.
They've made a
survivor.
joke
Soul
that
Survivor.
I think Kirby's one of the best characters in all of Nintendo and is underrated at some points. And I mean, in the
doesn't
trailer,
like Kirby?
Kirby was the only one that survived.
That's all he's saying.
In
That's
that trailer.
because what's the main creator's name of the Smash Brothers series? Is the guy who created Kirby.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like his baby.
Sonic should have outran the beams. That's all I'm gonna say. Moving on.
Nearing the end of the award show for us, with the sixth award that we give out, most surprising / most underrated game of the year. Our nominees are Far Cry 5, A Way Out, Life is Strange 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4. What you think, Ryan? Most surprising game to you this year?
Like underrated, surprising. Like
Yeah.
what threw me for a loop.
I'm ready.
Blackout.
Just don't even call it by the real
No,
title,
just
call it
Blackout.
by
I don't really
Blackout.
care about
Just
the rest.
the one game mode.
I haven't played a lot of Call of Duty recently, but when it came out, I was playing it a lot, and I haven't bought a Call of Duty since Ghost.
Ghost was the last one I picked up.
And
too.
I was like, I'm done with this series. But then I'm like, okay, this looks interesting, and I tried it. I'm like, okay, the multiplayer is kind of fun. Blackout's kind of fun. Surprised me. Good job. Infinity Ward or Activision?
Good take.
Infinity Ward, right?
Treyarch.
Treyarch.
Treyarch one.
That's the other one.
I'd have to. I wouldn't say underrated. I'd say surprise is definitely Call of Duty for me. I also haven't played since Ghost was probably the last one I put time into, and I'd pretty much given up on that series. And I know a lot of people complain like, "Oh, they took out the story." I'm like, nobody's cared about the story in a
Hasn't
Call
been
of
good in a
Duty game
while.
since like Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Maybe Black Ops 1 I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I've heard great things about the zombie mode.
Oh, yeah, I forgot zombies. That's great as well.
I heard it's probably one of the better ones since like Black Ops
Yep,
2.
I played it, I was enjoying it.
I mean, the multiplayer, regular multiplayer is whatever. I hear it's good. It's Call of Duty. But I hear really good things about the Battle Royale mode.
It's fun.
I
As for
almost
the
won in that first game that I played.
I got one win under my belt, so I'm like, okay, I can retire now if I need to.
For me, it was Far Cry 5. And again, this year was a surprising year for me in general because the games that I enjoy. I mean, I loved Red Dead 2, but games like God of War, games like Black Ops 4, games like Far Cry 5. Far Cry 5 was something that I was extremely addicted to when it came out, and I never liked any of the Far Cry games. I just couldn't get into the story. I know Far Cry 3 was super popular.
I've only ever played 3.
It's really good.
And I saw it and I thought it was a cool game, but for me, I just could not get invested to it. The story of Far Cry 5, I was fully invested, full throttle, all the way from the beginning. So that was my clear choice for that one. But you nailed it there, Ryan. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is the most surprising / underrated game of the year. Second place, surprisingly to me, was A Way Out.
I never played it.
I
know
did.
you
I played. A buddy of mine played all the way through split screen with A Way Out, all the way through the game. I mean, some people didn't like the
I watched
idea.
a Let's Play of it.
It was
looked
fun.
interesting.
There was certain parts where they were super glitchy and it was just a comical situation.
It was like an indie game, right? Like it was probably like
Yeah,
a small
yeah, yeah.
studio. So, I mean, good for them, I guess.
But just the choices you get to make and then the plot twists that happen in the story was an awesome story. I wish there was more ways like that could have ended because there's only really like 2 or 3, I think. But I really enjoyed that game, but I enjoyed Far Cry more. But Call of Duty Black Ops 4 had 38% of the vote. Far Cry A Way Out had 31%. Far Cry 5 had 25%, and then small community Life is Strange 2. I didn't vote for that one. I thought
you would have.
I thought about it.
You're a big old.
But I wasn't surprised. I enjoyed Life is
I'm
Strange.
not big
2.
on that style of gameplay.
Nathan loved it.
I love Life is Strange. I think it's a great game.
He's all about the story.
I'm all about it. Life is Strange 2 had 6% of the vote, so small community.
I gotta try Far Cry 5.
That's good.
I know it's probably on like super sale right now for the holidays.
That to me, when the Video Game Awards were announcing the nominees for Game of the Year, I was kind of disappointed that Far Cry was not on there.
What did they?
I don't
what were their picks?
I have the same picks as them.
Oh, okay.
But Far Cry 5 to me was just something that I didn't expect to love as much as I did, and I heard nothing but great things about it. So, I mean, I
like the setting.
I loved it.
Oh,
I loved the setting, loved the characters, the story, all about the story.
All about it.
I just loved Far Cry 5, and when I saw the nominees for Game of the Year, I was going to put Far Cry 5 on there, but I wanted to stick with the same ones that they were going to do for the Video Game Awards, and it wasn't on there, so I thought that was kind of disappointing. But again, Ubisoft, right? That's what they made.
I forgot
Yeah,
that's an Ubisoft
So
series.
I think
What you up to, Ubisoft?
I think Ubisoft should have won
You
Developer
being
of the
all
Year.
good
That
and
was
stuff.
me. I mean, maybe
Ubisoft, how
Ubisoft
dare
should have won
you.
Is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft?
I think it's Ubisoft.
I don't know.
Yeah, what are you up to, Ubisoft?
Ubisoft.
Making all good games and stuff.
But congratulations from UNF, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Community agrees with that one being the most surprising, underrated game. And now we're jumping into the big final award.
Dun, dun.
The best game of 2018. The game that once you're done watching this, you should go pick it up if you don't have it. Build some credit if you have to. We're going to start with the nominees that were going to be announced at the Game Awards. So we have Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which that one I thought should have been Far Cry instead. But Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Celeste. Celeste. That's a very interesting indie game that I got to play a little bit of. Hank, the best game of 2018. Take your shot. This was I will say, before we get into it, this one was the difficult situation when we were doing the survey. It was fluctuating constantly. Like it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Where are the polls?
But not just between two games. It was between a couple of them. So it was
This is a
all over the
hard
place.
year because I don't feel like it's a very like it's not like a 2000. Remember 2014 where there was a lot of great games that came out that year. This year is there's a finite amount of like excellent games, but they're all really good, so it's really hard to pick. I'm surprised we didn't talk more about Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
I think it got kind of lost in the Red Dead and God of War.
Yeah.
hype.
I
Yeah,
think
it was. I mean, it was a great. I mean, it's
I
getting.
enjoyed,
I did
I enjoyed
everything
it,
in
but
it,
but compared to those two, it,
Oh,
it
yeah.
kind of falls under.
And I'm glad it lived up to the hype because we had an
Yeah.
episode where people were worried about some of the visuals and things were not
What
looking
about the
like
puddles?
the photos that got leaked out with the puddles. And I was like, guys, relax. Okay, this game's gonna be great, and it was fine. It was a great game.
Final villain boss was
Probably
awesome.
one of the
Oh,
most
yeah.
recent games that I was able to
The ending of that
complete
game was
100% all the way through with everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
I finished everything. I've heard the DLC is. Like, I've heard it's just kind of.
Black Cat, dude.
I'll pick it up at some point, probably.
I do want to get it, but I've heard mixed reviews about the DLC. But the
I'll
game
wait
itself,
till the last one comes out.
I enjoyed a lot. So your take at Game of the Year?
Oh, it's got. I mean, it's got to be up between Red Dead and God of War. I think that's a pretty obvious pick. As for which one will probably stay in my mind longer over the years, I probably have to give it to Red Dead because it's same thing with the first one. It just sticks with you, and I'm kind of imagining it's the same. And as much as I love like God of War and stuff, I don't. Baldur's an awesome villain, but Dutch. I mean, Dutch and Micah take the cake as like being
Dutch
the
is
worst
just
of the worst.
fantastic.
And I'm always down for a good antagonist.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I give it to Red Dead.
Ryan?
So I got to go for it. You know, it's Madden 19. It's the
This
best
isn't
game.
funny.
Oh, sorry.
We're not
Blake
talking
It's not
Bortles.
a great
There's
game.
there's no EA
Are we- is this-
allowed.
is
Madden
this-
19 is not even nominated for Sports Game of the Year.
Are we on Sports Show now?
Is
Can
it
I talk
really
about Blake
not?
Bortles?
No, it's not. And that's,
That's
I'm like, EA,
crazy.
wake up. Like, you should see
Dude,
one of your biggest franchises is not even nominated for
Long
Sports
shot.
Game of the Year.
That's what happens when you don't change the game for like 12 years.
They
Long
have a story
shot.
mode that's not even good.
you get to play as the Cowboys. Hope you like them.
The story mode's the Cowboys?
Or
Real
the-
quick rant so I can explain it to you. Long Shot 1 and Madden 18 is like you do this, this, and this, try to get drafted so you can play for the team. But you're on a game. It's like, oh, you're going to go to the combine in the trailer. And then you play the game and you're on a game show. You're on like some kind of game show to make it into the NFL. And then you make it to the NFL and then boom. You get undrafted or drafted depending on what you said to the trainers and all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, oh, you've been selected by this team. You're like, sweet. And then it ends. Credits. Boom. No playing with that team. Nothing. And then Long Shot 2 comes out, and they're like, oh, by the way, fast forward, you got traded to the Cowboys. Fun fact. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I love the game, but it's so bad. It's like not. They nominated 2 soccer games.
There are 2 soccer games?
Yes, it's like
Oh, is
Pro
it-
Evolution
yeah,
Soccer
Pro
and FIFA. Like, come on.
Where's Mario's Soccer Strikers? What's that game?
Mario
Mario
Tennis.
Tennis is a nominated
Yes.
for sports game.
Mario Tennis wasn't
Yeah, and I'm-
nominated?
I
That's a
would
good
not even be
tennis game.
surprised
What
if
the
it
heck?
Was Mario Kart on there? That's a racing game.
I don't
Does that
know.
count as sports?
Nah, but that was a re-release.
You guys get me heated when you talk about Madden because I just
But
can't.
my serious answer is
Game of
Red.
the year,
my
please.
serious answer is Red Dead as well. I loved it. Like it's just there. Like I love everything about God of War that I've played, and I've just rented it from Redbox. I just only played the story. I didn't even play the rest of the side stuff, and just based off that alone, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like those types of games more. Red Dead. I just like the open world, and I love the story, the characters, the gameplay. We can talk about the online. We'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. But
The online has been.
that's game of
Do
the
you
year.
want to talk about
enjoyed it.
online while we're just
The
on
beta,
the-
I mean, online beta has been. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We've already finished all the missions that you can do in the
We
beta
can,
right
yeah.
now.
I got 300 smackaroons.
I'm ranked 10. Fun fact. Got there. Got the trophy. So
Yeah, I'm
I
enjoying
liked
it. It definitely needs a little rework. I had a duplicate of my horse. It was just a random horse that looked like mine, just next to me.
If you do that mission where you get the mail, have you done those? Like the stranger missions? It's like a side mission. And every time you go to pick up, it's like the bag's on the ground and it says pick up bag, and you pick it up and your guy drops a bag because it's already on him. I'm like, okay. And
I did that mission, but it made me just pick up one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you have to go back.
Bonnie's in there.
Ah, dude, I know.
I was so
I was
surprised.
like, Miss
loved it.
McFarlane.
awesome.
For game of the year, I mean, it was fluctuating so much because, I mean, I get it. It's like I had to sit. I mean, I finished voting for everything, and then it took me about a week to think about what I was going to pick. And I talked to other people to see why they would pick certain things. Game of the year for me, the overall package, like everything that comes with this game, whether, I mean, God of War doesn't have online, doesn't need it, I don't want it.
Get it out of here.
That'd be weird.
Oh yeah, it would be so
Kratos
weird.
versus
You
Kratos.
create,
Just a battle royale of just Kratos.
You create no,
only
you just
Atreus
create
is-
your own god and you make your powers. Or
Oh, that'd be
something.
cool.
and then,
Wait,
and then
put
the
it in.
final
Never
boss
mind, I
is
take it back.
Kratos, and he just kills you.
No, I mean, I think for me, I was just thinking about story, gameplay, and then my just personal feeling after I finished the game. And for me, I chose God of War, and the reason because is Red Dead. I waited so long for it, but I expected it to be like this.
Yeah.
It
I
didn't
can't
really,
wait for the next
it didn't
one
really,
in 8 years.
I love Red Dead, but it didn't really exceed expectations for me. It was like, okay, I expected this game to be amazing, and it was amazing. God of War for me, I was like, oh, this game should be pretty cool. It's a different concept. And it was like a game I'll never forget because I just didn't expect that kind of game. And the online wasn't released when the game came out, so it was kind of with Red Dead.
Oh, I was like,
Not God of War.
God of War's got online.
So it was just kind of like, it was just not fully put together when the game came out. But I liked their approach because they remember what happened with GTA Online when it was just absolutely broken, wasn't working.
Slow,
So and people were super upset about that. So they're like, okay, we're just going to take a month, see how many players we got going on, and just go from there. But Game of the Year for 2018 is Red Dead Redemption 2. According to the UNF community, Red Dead 2
Yeehaw!
is the game of the year, and maybe it is just because it's fresh people's minds. But I mean, that's just gonna Rockstar for releasing
I honestly
it
think
later
it's just
in the year.
I think it's just because more people probably played it. I don't think everyone has that voted has a
Oh yeah,
PS4.
we talked about on Nest News. Check it out on Spinnaker TV.
Just forget the PC.
know.
Oh,
No PC people get any good games this year.
Dude, please, Rockstar, you got to put Red Dead
If
on
you check
PC.
out Nest News and Spinnaker
No, they
TV,
don't.
one of our previous episodes,
Please.
we talked about Red Dead 2 breaking the record for biggest opening weekend in the entertainment industry.
That's crazy.
That is, and it beat Infinity War. So it's speechless.
Eat
It's
your heart out,
mind-boggling
Russo
to me.
brothers.
So Red Dead 2 to make like almost $1 billion in a weekend was unbelievable. So Red Dead 2, 44% of the vote. This one was just going back and forth as well. God of War 31%, Spider-Man 25%, and no votes for Assassin's Creed, Monster Hunter World, or Celeste.
I love. We didn't talk about it. I love Monster Hunter World. I didn't play
Changed
it
my
when it released.
Changed my mind. I wasn't into it.
I haven't played it, so I have no
I
opinion.
really enjoyed it. I need to get back into it.
I was just like-
it's a fun game.
My problem with the game is I can't focus on just having fun. Sometimes I have to
It's a
I
very.
have to have a reason for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then and maybe it was Donkey, but there was a YouTube
Hey, man,
video where somebody was making fun of like, why am I killing these monsters?
Oh, yeah.
Like they're just sitting here.
It's just killing all the
trying
baby,
to
or you're
enjoy
killing the
life.
mom, and there's the
and I'm
babies
like,
like,
hey
"What's
guys,
going on?"
let's team up
Mom.
and get some better clothes so we can kill this monster that's just eating in the grass or something. But I mean, there's a large community for that too.
Now,
It's
before
just not
we-
my kind of game.
I need to say one more thing about Red Dead Online. The only thing that concerns me extremely is the whole gold
The
option.
microtransaction situation.
Because
yeah.
that's gonna be a thing. I
We
know it's gonna
called that.
happen.
There's no surprise.
Yeah, there's no surprise there's gonna be microtransactions, but what concerns me is how pricey everything is.
It's so expensive.
And you
Have
can't. There's
seen
certain.
that?
Yeah, it's like $700.
I was like,
a
all right,
gun.
it's like we were doing a mission. I'm like, all right, Ryan, I need to get a new gun because this one's not working
like,
out
here's
too well.
$1,000.
We ride all the way to the store, and I have like $170. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get like an average rifle.
You know,
And the
if you go to
average
the-
rifle was like $700.
You know, if you go to the fence, he gives you a free gun,
Yeah,
right?
the high
Yeah, so
roller
that's what we just
revolver.
went there. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my
But-
gosh.
Dope gun.
But like, there's even certain I saw on Reddit. There's certain skins on a gun that you can only buy with gold, which is I don't like that. Rockstar.
I mean, it's in the.
I don't know.
the
You
top
see all the
corner.
microtransactions for GTA Online. I mean,
Just
that's
give
what
this-
do you expect?
Like I said, give this game a year, and they're gonna have it's gonna be called the experimental rocket gun or something. It's just a rocket launcher, just so they can have it in the game. And so you're gonna spawn in. Howdy cow! Just get blown up.
And I haven't played it, but Battle Royale is a situation
Yeah,
in this
I don't
game.
think it's in the beta,
It's
but
not
I was
in
gonna
the
say,
beta, but
I
it's
don't
in,
think they put it in yet.
But they're gonna have it, and we
if
right
I
here
can,
in Birds of Play.
hold on.
We called that a long time
we did,
ago.
and they better have you dropping in on horses, like I said.
We were like, you wait
The
for it.
horses out of the
Yeah.
sky.
Hey.
Like when Fortnite was getting super popular, and we were talking about that. We're like, wait for it. When Red Dead 2 comes out this year, it's gonna have Battle Royale, and boom.
We keep breaking news
We're-
here. I mean,
we're telling you.
you guys
what's
act like this
coming.
is just a college show. You don't even understand.
While we're here, Can I pitch my idea for the Red Dead sequel?
Pitch it.
Dude,
All right.
that camera, tell
My
him what
idea
you
for the Red Dead sequel. It's Jack Marston. So it's when after Red Dead 1, it's him. He moves to like New York City and he joins like a mob. So it's like the
That's
like
called
1920s.
Mafia.
That'd be
So
It's
it's
called
Red Dead Mafia or Red
mix
Dead
everything.
something R
Red
related
Dead
to Mafia.
Grand Theft Auto 6.
It's just imagine Jack Marston like a cowboy in that like setting, and he's just shooting everybody with like somewhat more modern guns.
No,
I'd be down for
this
that.
is my prediction.
more cowboys.
It's gonna be Jack Marston. He's moving to New York, but all he's joining is the book club because he wants to be an author. And
He gave up on that life.
He
when
gave up on that
redeemed
life,
his
and
dad.
all you do in the game is you just write stories, like Nancy
That
Drew.
sounds awful.
Hey, there's a community for it, I think.
Should we make that pitch for God of War Online now that we were talking
Yes,
about it?
make your
Like-
own god.
Like what you do is like you take the same concept of For Honor, but then you start with a guy that's just naked and you make him your own or a girl.
I would
and
love
you
a
just,
For Honor
You make them
battle
your own.
royale.
I want to make the god of water, and it's just you're just there. and
You
then can
choose
just-
like a
just turn
power.
into
You
water.
choose
A
what
puddle.
weapon you go with, what kind of class you want to be,
I'm gonna be the god of that Christmas.
and then
tree.
it's just very similar to For Honor,
I'm down for that.
but it's God of War Honor. Boom. You heard it here first.
Nailing it.
Please don't do that. I was just kidding. I
I'm not.
don't want you to ruin the greatness that was God of War. So
I'm surprised they haven't released any DLC for that game yet.
they don't need to. They're like, eh.
They're like, see you in the next game.
There's so
buy
much
it.
to
Yeah,
game.
yeah. I don't
The next
don't
one-
spend
oh.
time on DLC. I want money on that next game. I want that in like 2
Yeah.
years.
They set that up great. I'm like, oh no, I just want to play the new one.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for you folks. 2018, what a year. A lot of episodes we've done this year, and it was just an awesome, awesome year for games. And a lot of things we're looking forward to. So Birds of Play will continue in 2019. I'll be here, he'll be here, he'll be here, and maybe we'll have some new people here.
Here we come, spring games.
So looking forward to 2019. Thank you guys for an awesome 2018. Keep playing those games. Have a great holiday.
Enjoy your
And
holidays.
we will see you
Whatever they are.
next year. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Play games. Stay cool, kids.
Stay swagalicious.
Say, listen. For Halloween, I want to go as Mac tonight. You know the big, moon, like
moon
the
guy?
crescent moon with the sunglasses. That has nothing to do with anything. I was just thinking about that.
I think
Anyway,
that's a great take.
thanks, guys.
that is an old
Thank
reference
you.
that no one will get.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I'm like, oh, I want to do that for Halloween.